We are live. Puma Pete, what's going on? How are you tonight? RH, Janie, how are you? Can y'all hear me? All right, perfect. Gravity, Michael, Marge, how are you? Jesse, good. Sherry, what's up? Pine, how are you? Charlie, 59th, Penny McPhee, hello. Hanging in there. What's up? I'm hanging in there, Jane. What's up, Des? Truth, how are you? Diane, Ben, what's going on? It is in 2 minutes officially Christmas Eve in New York State. Asher, hey Joe, how are you? There you go, Charlie. What's going on, Rodney? Merry Christmas Eve, folks. 1 minute. 1 minute. We started a little early. Yeah, absolutely. So anyone on the East Coast, it'll be Christmas Eve and I'm glad you got your water pump fixed. Micro Dork, how are you? Mark Roberts, Kaklina. What's up, Dave? Id. Dave Id. Oh, not yet. 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Am I doing a live next weekend? Yeah, it'll be the 30th, so yeah. Yeah, I'll be doing a live. Diane, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Victor is with us or not. It is Christmas Eve right now in upstate New York. Well, actually, Eastern Standard Time, it is Christmas Eve. Hey, Pops, how are you? You get comfortable. So, I received some amazing Christmas gifts from some subscribers. I'm gonna put Pop 7 on the front page because I know she doesn't like it. What's up, Nick? How are you? So Pops 7 got me a Coca-Cola mini fridge and 4 pounds of Jelly Belly. Good old Neck sent me some homemade jerky, a punched tin deer photo thingy. I don't know what you're calling. Some chili seaweed, and MJ Bates sent me an old world Christmas Bigfoot dressed as Santa Claus Christmas ornament. And Rose Holt sent me a Christmas gift last night. There's MJ. How are you, MJ? Caden Zero. How are you? So, yeah, pretty crazy. What's up, Rockin' Steady? How are you? HD Reaper. Juno. I agree, Dis. I agree 100%. Roxy, how are you? So, yeah, some pretty awesome. What's up, Troy? How are you? I have not yet rocking steady. I have not yet. They're actually sitting on my desk downstairs right now. My favorite pick of Dogman. Probably the only real one that I know of that exists would be from Kirk Stokes. Everything else out there is bogus in my eyes. I'm glad you guys are enjoying those Victor uploads. Hey, Pamela. There's Dave from Wyoming. Charlie, absolutely 100%. That's where Victor belonged to. He worked for the CIA, which he had said it in a few videos. He was a Marine, and then he was pulled out of the Marines and joined the CIA's division of that. Randall Kennedy, how are you? John Sumner, Tracy. I don't believe it had a name, Charlie. You never said that it had a name. I mean, if you're going to put names to something like that, I most certainly would say it'd be a creepypasta bullshit thing. You know what I mean? So I believe they don't have a name. Like, that's X-Files. Fucking, you know what I mean? We are the monster hunters. So I've got some really good experiences for you guys tonight. Caden Zero, the man, the myth, the man on the watch list. What's up, Keith? How are you? Kathy Hayes is with us tonight. Alan Howell, how are you? So I got some Black-Eyed Kids, which we all love. Robert Sharp's in the house with us. I've got some very strange kind of humanoid-esque things. Some Dogman, some Bigfoot, and some kind of out of the real weird. Hey, love, how are you? Some really strange cryptid. I got them broken down into little piles right here. So I guess we could start the evening. Do you realize you are running circles around? Well, thanks, Lon. Or Leon? Lee. Surza, Leon, there we go. Fucking brain shut off. Do you realize you are running circles around David? Politis 411 new trucker. Anesthesia. Tom Ezek. I appreciate that. Randall Kennedy, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that as well. Wow, that really, like, you know, that's hard to say or hard to even think about, running circles around the guy that's responsible for bringing the 411 to the forefront of the world. But thank you, I really do appreciate it. Derek Crowley, I said hello to you. You must not have heard me. A little sensitive there, Sugar Bug? No, I'm just kidding, buddy. I did say hi to you, though. What's up, ACA? Janie, thank you so much. That's all right, Derek. I was just fucking with you. It's crazy that, like, people listen to me from all around the world. $20 is $20. Merch is out, by the way. And if you go to the store, it's going to show up in gray for some reason. But if you click on, like, the t-shirt, the tank top, or the hoodie, there's different colors. And I even made a magnet. And then on the back, like, back neck area, there's the little Dogman logo. So, you know what's crazy? Naroshi, how are you? You know what's crazy is my cousin was a radio DJ when I was a little kid. And I used to go with him on the weekends because he did overnights. And I loved hanging out on the radio station. And I'd help him like switch things and stuff like that. Like he'd get a call from the meteorologist and he'd record it and stuff like that. He showed me how to do that. It was pretty cool. So, my dad got transferred back to a hospital, and this is crazy. I never even knew they would do something like that. But after extensive tests and stuff, he's going to have surgery tomorrow morning. I don't even know what's going on. My mom's kind of holding back on information, but tomorrow morning, they're going to have a Sunday Christmas Eve surgery, which just baffles me. He started to get the delirium back and a fever. Definitely a very bad infection. So fucking hair is... You ever have hair in your eye and you can't get rid of it? So, what's up, California? How are you? All right, here we go. Maybe I'll make a Chicory shirt. What's up, Stephen Knight? How are you? Thank you, love that, love. Appreciate that. Dean, what's going on? No Krampus stories. All right, but I do have a very strange Black-Eyed Kids. I live in Chicago in East Garfield. In June of 2017, I was at a local grocery store buying food. I walked to my car, loaded the 2 bags into my back seat, then got into the driver's seat. As I started the car, to my shock, a young, pale-skinned woman with long, dark hair was sitting on the passenger side. The first thing I noticed were her coal black eyes. She looked right into my eyes and said that I need help. Please help me. She literally looked like the Walking Dead or a zombie. I told her to get out, but she insisted that I take her to the hospital. I was scared. We weren't too far from the hospital, so I headed there. If she was crazy, I thought I would placate her. We were about 2 blocks away and at a red light when she suddenly jumped out of the car, took a few steps, and vanished. No trace of her. She didn't appear like a ghost, but she was a solid form. It was as if she had ran through an invisible doorway. The next day, I was sick to my stomach. My eyes were sore and red. I believe it had something to do with this black-eyed woman. I didn't feel 100% until a week later. I had terrible nightmares that continued for months. This may not be related, but some of my family and friends had unexplained activity in their homes, including my brother. He lived a few blocks from me and swears there was a demon in his basement. He and his girlfriend would not venture down there and soon moved away. He had terrible dreams as well. I wish I knew what was going on. Cheers to Chow. How are you? Sasquatch Mountain Mama, how are you? Stacy Brooks, thank you for joining and becoming a member. Have you ever heard the Chad Calvert's Big Boy? Yes. I actually did an upload a few years ago on that. There's not tooting my own horn, and so please don't take it like that. But I have over 3,000 videos on the channel, and there's not too much that I haven't covered and looked into, to be honest with you. It's funny when new people find my channel and they're like, have you ever heard this? I'm not saying you're new, and I'm like, yeah, I did 6 videos on that before, but yes, I have. What is weird about that story too, Stacy Brooks, is that it's been told 2 different ways. It's been told as Bigfoot, and it's been told as Dogman too. And when I did the upload, I brought that up, and I was like, it's been told by as it were Bigfoot and that it was Dogman, which always kind of just made it almost unreal to me. But who knows? Maybe someone changed it for it to be. Well, you just said you heard of it. You just heard of it, Stacy. So I wouldn't think you did hear about that. What's up, DL? How are you? Dogman, you came in. How are you? Merry Christmas Eve to everyone. Yeah, Sean, Robert Sharp is in the do you remember the interview? Who interviewed? Do you remember who interviewed you? I'd like to hear. Who mentioned during an interview with a retired cop. Yeah, I know the that channel, What Lurks. Sean Atwood was the guy that interviewed me. I'll actually put it up. I'll put it up Christmas. I'll put that interview up that he did with me because I have permission to re-air it. So I'll so you don't have to go and hunt it down. Derek, no, I have not. We had a little snow. We have not had snow pretty much all winter. We got a little bit of snow today. A little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe. Can you see it out there? A little bit of snow. Yeah, the main guy is cool. I like him a lot. Hey, Miss Firehorse, how are you? My mic is crackling? I don't know. It shouldn't be. It'll clear up. I'm not going to restart the live because it'll just go crappy. It's hooked up fine. Let me check something. Hang on a second. I want to hear it. Do. That's weird. That's weird. Yeah, it is crackling. That's weird. Yeah, it is crackling. That's weird. You know what? Hang on a second. Derek Crawley, thank you very much. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, if I holy shit, Lance Creepy Reading, how are you? Merry Christmas. Long time no see. How have you been? Jim Baker, how are you? Holy shit, haven't seen you in a long time either. Wow, Lance Creepy Reading. No kidding. If you guys ever into creepy pastas and stuff like that, in fiction, in good reading, Lance Creepy Reading, good guy, great channel. Alligator Horse, how are you? Appreciate that, Jim Baker. You like that? That's from Neck. Neck sent that to me, and he brought it from Illinois to me. All right, guys. So, All right, Black Eyed Kids, Dogman, or an assortment of strange cryptids. You guys pick Black Eyed Kids, Dogman, or strange cryptids. Sandhoff, how are you this evening? Merry Christmas Eve to you. Ooh, it's a toss-up between a little bit of strange and the Black Eyed Kids. All right, what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of strange because, every once in a while, a little strange is what keeps the relationship. I'm just kidding. Get a little crazy. All right, we'll do a little bit of strange, cryptid, and then some Black Eyed Kids. I really got a good assortment out for you guys tonight. All right, so here we go. A few years ago, my wife and I were living in Laneville, Texas, which is located in Rusk County, on farm to market Route 225. My wife loves gardens, and we always had a chicken pen. Our adult children enjoy the garden produce and the fresh eggs from our hens. We lived this way for many years. After we moved there in '81, we had no intention of ever going back to the big city. The incident that I'm going to share happened in 2015, and it signaled the end of our chicken business. Each morning, I have to walk down to the chicken pen. It's about 150 feet behind our house. After I feed the chickens and check their water, I head back to the house to eat breakfast. I had guns, but I never carried one around our own property. At the time, we had a terrier who went everywhere we went. She had never shown any inclination of being afraid of anything, but on this day, I was in the middle of my chores when the terrier stopped dead still. She was fixated on something beyond the tree line behind the chicken pen, and the hair on her neck and back were standing straight up. She was frozen in place and didn't move a single muscle. I shifted my gaze to the tree line, and what I saw caught my breath. I knew I was looking at something I had never seen before. This thing apparently had been walking just outside of the tree line, and it stopped when I did. It seemed to be the size of a large wolf. Its head was a light gray, and there was not a single hair on its body. Its rear legs, hang on, I got to skip the ads. Its rear legs made it appear as if this thing could easily walk on all fours or stand upright like a man. The tail was the same length as its body, and from where I stood, it looked like a dog until it turned, revealing its head that looked more feline than canine, with shorter, pointed ears. The eyes were something unworldly. They were a bright blue and bored into us for 15 seconds, showing no sign of fear. It then turned and walked into the woods out of sight. I tried to make sense of what I had just seen as I hurried and tossed the chicken feed into the pen. I realized that the terrier had already hightailed it back to the house ahead of me. Over breakfast, I told my wife about the encounter, and from that day onward, the terrier would not go near the chicken pen unless she was with me. Even then, she stayed behind me, always watching the woods. I did as well. It's strange how random things can suddenly make sense once you see the connection. A few weeks later, a feral dog got into the pen and tried to kill the chickens. I was going to gather eggs, and ever since that strange encounter that day, I started carrying my rifle with me. I shot the dog, got a shovel, and dug a hole behind the pen. The feral dog was the size of a large collie and must have weighed 80 pounds or so. I had to drag the carcass to the hole and roll it in. After burying the dog and securing the pen, I went back to the house, and that was the end of that. Or so we thought. 2 days later, while feeding the chickens, I noticed something odd behind the pen. I walked around and took a look. What I found was the hole 2 feet across, right where I had buried the dead dog. The carcass was gone. There were no drag marks whatsoever. It was big enough to pull the body out and carry it off without leaving a trail. I searched all over the back of our property and never found anything that would suggest some sort of scavenger was at work. My wife and I were the only ones who knew I had buried it back there. The next morning, when I went to feed the chickens, it looked like a crime scene. They were all dead. They were headless. Remains were scattered about the pen. The rooster had been tossed 20 feet from the ground into the top of our tree. Oddly enough, given the scale of the carnage, there was not a single drop of blood anywhere. The gate was latched, and there was no hole in the fence or signs that something gained entry by digging under the fence. But the killer had left some evidence behind. There were footprints and deep gouges made by 3 long claws that were estimated to be 2.5 feet or 2.5 inches long. I drove over to a neighbor's house and asked him to have a look at the tracks. He was a hunter who was born and raised in the area, and even he looked stumped. He suggested we call a friend of his who was a constable and another longtime resident. He looked at the tracks and examined the dead chickens. After he noticed the dead rooster dangling in the tree, he warned us not to go out at night without a gun. We decided not to replace the chickens. Not long after that incident, we moved to another location. We just didn't want to cross paths with whatever was lurking on the property. Candy Wolf, how are you? Eunice, how are you? Andy Davis. Harold Wade, how are you? A.L. Zilla. A little bit of Alice in Chains. I do have myself a crowd. It's early, too. We're only 27 minutes in. 198 people and 71 likes. Nicola, how are you? Merry Christmas. Did you say it wasn't a dog man? It looked like a dog at first, but the guy realized that it had a feline-like head. But it was, yes, it had no hair. Michelle, how are you? Welcome to the channel. Patrick Dunbar. I actually have a mermaid experience tonight for you guys. I have a couple of feline cryptid stories. I'd say no more than 10 though. Yeah, so they are pretty rare. There's a couple out of Texas. That's probably the 4th one out of Texas. For some reason, they are predominantly seen in the Texas and Mexico, Central America region there. Region. That's all right, Sandhoff. That is all right. All right. Texas is a nation state of itself. Yes, it is. Gigi Mason, how are you? Adam Hernandez. I just did one from Texas, Adam Hernandez. Shame on you for not listening. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I did a video about that, Stacy. Did a video about that, the fisherman. Government actually showed up to his boat, and they took down his TikTok at one point. Larry Leto, how are you? From Fort Myers, Florida. What's up, Sammy? Steve from the backwoods of Wisconsin. All right. So what we'll do is, that was a good cryptid one. We'll do a Black-Eyed Kids, then we'll do the mermaid. All right. How's that sound? Catherine, Luke. I haven't talked to Luke in quite some time. I miss that guy. Good old egg he was. Yeah, the Kelpies. Yes. Yep. All right, here we go. I have literally never heard of Black Eyed Kids before the night of May in 2023. After taking my girl out for a night where she had a bit too much to drink and holding her hair, she doesn't usually let loose like that. We know alcohol can lower our vibrations. Anyway, I was hopped up on some caffeine from being the designated driver. So after I tucked her in, I went for a drive. Not 2 blocks from our house in Henrico County, Virginia, I saw a little kid, maybe 10, a boy on the side of the road in a black hoodie. He waved and I slowed down to see if he was okay. Before I rolled my window down, I had a bad feeling of dread. The kid looked up, pale skin, empty eyes, just so black and void. I didn't stick around. I sped off and went home. I was freaking out. Then my dog started growling. He started looking at our door. I didn't look out, but I felt an unexplainable dread, so I prayed the Lord's Prayer, and my dog stopped growling. Then I Googled kids with black eyes and went down a rabbit hole. The sighting happened at 1:10 a.m. approximately in the lakeside area of Henrico, Virginia, near Richmond. I'm so freaked out that I haven't slept well after that incident. Also, the kid grinned, but something about his grin was off. I didn't speak to him or it. Richmond and Henrico County has had Dogman. Well, pretty much all of Virginia in that area have had multiple Dogman experiences. Give the black-eyed kid the finger. And you guys staying no word on Victor, Eunice. I swear, if I ever hear from him, everybody in the live will know when I talk to him. Trust me. Anybody staying on top of the Monarch TV show? Damn, it's just getting better and better. Lot lizards are the worst cryptid out there. The worst cryptid. You can watch it on your phone, Eunice, because I figured out a way, because I don't have an Apple phone, but I figured out a way to watch it on my phone. There's this app called Flickr. You can watch it on that. It's free. It's really friggin' good. It's an amazing TV show. Monarch, Randall Kennedy. It's all about Godzilla and the goodness of Godzilla. Yeah, the bite of a lot lizard is not bad because they normally don't have teeth. Joe's right. But they are known to carry some deadly diseases. So you must be careful and be protected when approaching the lot lizard. Sonia, lot lizards are prostitutes that stand around truck stops. They're not reptilians. They're usually whores. It's just a woman of the night. Exactly, Red Cardinal. They get money from sleeping with truckers. they're not a real cryptid. That's a joke. They are some filthy hooers. But that's the oldest profession known to man, so. All right, Dogman or Crawler? Dogman or Crawler? You pick. Lynn Davis, how are you? Actually, it depends, Lynn. It depends on the day and night. Crawler, Crawler, Crawler. All right, hang on one second. We're going to do the Crawler. Okay. Jane, I just texted you. Janie? I don't know if you heard me. I just texted you. Check it out quick. Rockin' steady. Holy shit. Thank you, brother. All right, here we go. Melody Page, how have you been? I appreciate that. I really do. That's a go, Jane. That's a go. Please do. All right, here we go. This incident occurred in western Idaho. This account comes from a very close friend of my grandfather. His name's Neil. He's the kind of person that would not lie about something like this, and I honestly believe his experience. This story was told while I was on a hunting trip with my granddad, my dad, and a few of my uncles, Neil, and one or two other people. I don't really know exactly how the conversation led up to the strange and unknown things seen in the wild, but here we were. This was a few years back, so forgive me if I've forgotten some details. Neil's story a few years back, he describes it in the early 90s, and one of my friends had gotten permission to go and hunt jackrabbits on another one of my friend's properties out in a very remote part of western Idaho. I can't remember exactly where, but they had come from an hour or two from the Weiser area. The property was out in the middle of the desert, quite far. Rock and steady, thank you very much, brother. Quite far from any small town or city. We entered on the north side of the property over a cattle guard and through the gate. The property was kind of in a valley, and it was divided into a very large, flat plain, mostly on one half, and then on the other was a very large hill that spanned the length of this private land. It had an elevation of maybe 200 to 300 feet, give or take. That night, we had been working the flatter part of the land with a spotlight on my truck and flashlights in hand, shooting rabbits. It was a clear night, and the moon was probably 3/4 of the way full. So it was relatively easy to see some elements of the property by moonlight. We started a little after dusk, and by the time it was about midnight, we were 2/3 down the length of the property, and we heard this unhuman, blood-curdling scream coming from the eastern side. I looked at my friend, and we both froze. We were at the truck using the spotlight looking for Rabbit when this happened. We were maybe 300 yards from the base of the hill, so the top of the hill was probably another 100 yards or so from the base. As I started to scan the hillside with my scope, this creature screamed again. I then followed the sound and saw a tall, lanky humanoid standing with its upper half of its body silhouetted against the sky at the top of the hill. I fired a shot towards it from my .22, knowing that it would not make it to the creature, but I wanted to try and get it to move up the hill so I could get a better look. But instead, this thing started to move down the hill towards us. Right after that happened, we booked it to the closest side of the property, found a gate, shot the lock off, and drove away as fast as we could. To this day, we still don't know what we saw, but it scared the daylights out of me. Truth Quest is leaving already? Or Truth in the background is leaving? Oh, Truth in the background. Thank you for joining us. Have a Merry Christmas, Truth. Hang on a second. Gotta check something. What happened, Rock and Steady? No, it's a jewel, Steve. It's a jewel. Rhonda Wolf, how are you? No, what happened? I didn't see what happened. I was reading, brother. There's Caden flirting again. That Caden. Dana, be careful down there because I've had subscribers that went down after I covered that. I don't know if you heard my uploads and my investigation into it, but that's actually what got Sean Atwood into me. And that was really awesome when he interviewed me. Jeff, you should start an OnlyFans on post dirty dog picture. Jesus Christ, Red Cardinal. Yeehaw! Yeah, be careful, please. Merry Christmas, Rhonda. Merry Christmas to you as well. Absolutely. Lot lizards are international. I've heard they come from holes from under the ground that no one wants to be seen. Is Sean Atwood from the UK? Yes, Miss Firehorse. Yep. Bald guy. He lived in Arizona at one time. He was a notorious ecstasy dealer. The guy is a friggin' genius, to be honest with you. He's a very smart guy. Just had his first kid actually about a month ago. And really just I hate saying it like this, but a lovely person. It never came out, Brett. I'm going to finish it. Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine, Miss Firehorse. He's a great guy. He's freaking amazing. Christmas Day, what I'll do is Christmas Day, I'll repost the interview that Sean did with me because he allowed me to share it as many times as I want. And I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wait, what? I watch your show all the time, brother. Subway creatures, Chud, the Chud. I hate those suckers. That was the first movie that ever scared me terribly. Yeah, he is big guy. He's a huge YouTuber. No, they don't. They don't want to talk about. And if you're from that area, then the guy who was initially I forget the deputy's name, but he actually replaced the sheriff, um, tutu wearing boy, and he was the one that he's a huge part of the cover up. I haven't heard of any dog man sightings in subways, but I imagine there probably will be. Armando Fuentes is our new sheriff, is Mark Strange. Yep. Armando Tutu wearing Fuentes there. Um Mark Strange, but what was the other guy before Mark? Because there was another guy, I thought. Remember, Janie, when I was doing the when it first happened, I was like, I deep dove into that, and there's a Facebook post with Armando with an AR, and he's wearing a goddamn tutu, and I just made such a rockin' steady. Rose Holt, how are you? Thank you. I actually thanked you earlier um, for your Christmas gift as well. I let everyone know that I got some Christmas gifts. Once again, Christmas gifts. I got a Coke cooler from Pups and 4 pounds of um, Jelly Bellies. Um, MJ Bates got me this really beautiful, like old world Christmas ornament that's Bigfoot with a dressed as Santa, and then Rose gave me an awesome gift. Oh, here's the plows coming down. You guys are gonna hear it. Sorry, guys. Yes, actually, Denise, I did. Um, we're going through some stuff right now, still with my dad. He's back in the hospital. It's nothing's getting any better, so it's yeah. We got snow. We got snow, Tracy. I got the mermaid story right here. All right, here we go. I live in Marcus Hook, Pennsylvania, in Delaware County. I went to college in Philly. My parents moved to Florida a few months ago, but they kept their house here. So I'm living in it right now. The property is along the bank of the Delaware River. The river is 20 or so yards from the back door of my house. I'd found a new job and stayed up later and later. I was bored with nobody else to hang out with. Most nights I would wind up outside in a lawn chair, fishing in the river until 3 in the morning. It was on a night like this when the first incident happened. I wasn't paying too much attention around me. I was watching something on my phone and my rod started bouncing up and down like crazy. I jumped up to set the hook, jerking it back. The line went slack for a second, then jerked away. I figured I had a fish on it, but when I tried to reel again, it wouldn't budge. I thought maybe I had snagged, but then the line snapped away. I'm not an expert fisherman, but the way the line moved was odd. Not like a typical fish bite, but like something in the water was purposely pulled back on the line each time I did. It was almost like it was intelligent. I was a bit freaked out and ended up just cutting the line and heading back inside. I told myself it was caught on a snag or something, but I suspected otherwise. A week later, I had fallen asleep in my chair and woke up startled after hearing a large splash in the water a few yards out. The light from my back porch barely hit the edge of the water, and I could see a series of rings spreading out from where something had entered the water. A new set of rings then appeared a few feet away, and then again and again until they were out of sight. I was a bit baffled since the catfish or bottom feeders seldom come to the surface of the water. And rarely jump. I grabbed my gear and headed inside, but in my groggy state, I left my cutting board, knife, and fresh bag of bait. I was using pepperoni for catfish sitting on the ground. The next day, I realized what I had done and went outside to retrieve it. Everything was gone. In the patch of dirt near where I was left the stuff, I could see faint prints. Some kind of thin-footed animal with only 2 long, slender toes had been walking through the area. I also found silvery fish scales that were spread sporadically around, and both prints and scales led straight back to the water's edge. I must admit that at this point I was a little bugged. I didn't know what to make of the evidence, but I figured that any kind of call to the police was going to get me laughed at. I tried to find information on the prints online with no luck. I decided that I would give fishing a rest for a while. I needed to get some sleep anyway. I started to get tired halfway through the work day. 2 weeks went by and I hadn't been outside fishing. I had started dating a new girl. Between her and work, I pretty much forgot about the tracks. But then the most bizarre incident occurred. I was fast asleep in my room upstairs when I was shaken awake by my girlfriend. She told me that my dog was downstairs barking like crazy. I'm a heavy sleeper and probably wouldn't have noticed, but sure enough, he was downstairs going nuts. Before I reached the stairs, the barking abruptly stopped and then it turned into a low growl. I felt a twinge of panic. My girlfriend was behind me on the stairs and we crept down quietly. I could see my dog standing at the back door in a rigid posture, growling at something outside. I walked quietly over to him and tried to calm him down. I stroked his head when I heard my girlfriend let out a gasp. She was looking through a small window of the back door. I stood up and looked for myself. Unmistakably, there were 2 bipedal creatures, no more than 3 feet tall, walking around my backyard. It was dark and the lights were off, but I could make out a silverish color on them. Shannon Smith, thank you so much. They had no eyes that I could see, but something like a fin was running down their spine of each creature. We stood frozen for a few minutes watching these creatures. At one point, they ambled over to each other. I swear that they were making hand gestures toward my house. My girlfriend saw this as well and whispered that she was going to call the cops. She ran upstairs to grab her phone while I stayed and watched for a few more moments. My dog started barking again, and this time both creatures just walked away toward the river and disappeared in the water. The police arrived 20 minutes later and looked around. They did not see any sign of the creatures, but said they had found some wet prints outside. They were the exact same ones that I had seen on the ground a few weeks earlier. Since no crime was committed, they didn't seem too interested, but the officers took my report and told me to call again if I saw anything else. So this was the month ago. I looked online for any kind of information of these creatures, but could not find anything. I have not gotten a good night's sleep since. My girlfriend has refused to come back to the house. Now, this is crazy because that experience I had a subscriber, a woman subscriber, that actually lives in that vicinity, but on a lake instead of the river, and had a very similar encounter to this as well. Jeff, the silver pup daddy. Maybe Sam, maybe. J-Tad, thank you. Merry Christmas, J-Tad. I'm glad you're here with us. Captain Ron's in the house with us. Rose Holt, thank you so much. My mom's holding up. I check on her every night. She is not. She was a great driver when I was younger. Growing up, she had a 69 442 when I was real young. But now she doesn't drive after dark, and she doesn't like putting her car in the garage. So she has me come down every night and put her car in the garage for her. And I bring down dinner to make sure that she eats. So yeah, it's been a hard one. All I can do is I pray a lot. Tara's Garden, thank you so much. Wow, I appreciate that. These people drive worse. Rosie Holt, thank you again. Please, thank you. So I want to get your guys' opinion on this, because I had my own opinion, all right, after my mom told me this. So my dad had started going into his delirium again, and he said that his shoulder hurt because he had shoveled and we didn't have any snow, right? And so the night before the rehabilitation center / nursing home sent my dad to the hospital, my dad looked at my mom and his nurse and said, "Who was the guy with long hair and a beard that was sitting next to me last night?" And my mom looked at Michelle, the nurse, my dad's nurse, and she looked at my mom and said, "Gene, there's nobody that has long hair that works here. And nobody is allowed in, unless you're family, in the center after 7." And this was at night. That's what I thought, AL Zilla. AL Zilla just said what I thought, man. Holy cow. And I didn't know if I should take that as a bad thing or as a good thing. Yes, Rose Holt. That's exactly. Yes. That was my first. When my mom said that, I was like, in my head, thought Jesus immediately. My dad. So I always thought that my mom was the religious one when I was growing up, because she was a church school teacher and stuff. But my dad is the one that got my mom into going to church. So that's like, it's crazy. Larry Lindman, how are you? Take it as a good sign. Jeff Childers, how are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. Roxy, how are you? I thought I was scared, because I was like, how do I take this? You know what I mean? Do I take it as like he's going to take my dad to a better place? Because I'm not ready to lose him yet. You know what I mean? Because everyone knows that, like I've said it a million times, that I have 8 years in recovery. And from the time of 18 till 8 years ago, I was an addict. And me and my dad didn't like each other. We loved each other, father and son wise, but we didn't like each other. So I'm not ready to lose the guy yet. Firewolf, I'm glad that you're here with us. Thank you for being here with us. Rich, how are you? My dad, yes, Stacy, my dad he's got it's not dementia, it's delirium because of the infection that's coursing through his body. Oh, San, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That sucks. I'm sorry. Thanks, Rockin' Steady. Appreciate that. Absolutely, Jeff Childers. Robert Sharp, have a good night. Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining us. Derek, thank you, man. Thank you, brother. All right. Dogman? I got to do an encounter. I got a little jerked up a little bit. Oh. Whew. Shit. Thanks, Janie. I do, Derek. I do. And thank you for sharing that with me. Yes, Denise, we did. Actually, his nurse, Michelle, the nurse that I mentioned, she took photos of my dad's sores on his heels and on his lower posterior. Like he's lost so much weight. He's fucking, it's disgusting. But here we go. I usually walk on a trail near my house in Massachusetts, South Shore between Boston and Cape Cod. I don't know if this particular place has a name. I usually feel safe, even as a woman hiking alone. I grew up in this area, so it's not like it's the city or anything. A few months ago, on a weekday late afternoon, I was walking along the trail first. It just started sprinkling, but then it came pouring down with thunder and lightning as well. I was more afraid of lightning than anything. It was too far to run back to where I was parked, so there was a lot of giant rocks in the area. I saw this rock overhang off to the right of the trail up on a hill. It was hollowed out behind it, a small cave or something. I was not about to go into the cave, but I thought I could at least stand under the overhang and not get wet. So I'm standing there waiting for the rain to slow down. I just had a feeling like something was watching me because the hair on the back of my neck stood up. I felt compelled to turn around and look behind me into the darkness. At first, I didn't see a thing. There were no bear or wolves in my area. If something's living in that cave, it was probably a small animal or a homeless fella. At least that's what I told myself. But when I stared into the darkness, I saw the shadows shift. I knew something was in there. It didn't look like it was very big, though at the time I couldn't see much. The rain is still coming down in sheets and the sky had gotten very dark. I stood watching the lightning strikes, and a few of them were very close. But between the loud thunderclaps, I heard it. There was a nasty sound, like a wet sound of something being eaten. I turned back around to look in there and couldn't see what it was. Then a smell hit me. I guess the wind changed. It was rancid, like a dead raccoon on the side of the road. It made me retch. I turned back to the woods to see if there might be another overhang a short distance away. It was obvious that there was some kind of animal eating another dead animal in that cave, and I wanted to put some distance between us. I took another couple steps away from the cave, and now I'm getting wet from the rain. I didn't see any other place to go. Then, all at once, I heard a sound behind me like rocks chattering. I turned and looked. The shadow of this thing inside was rising, and I realized all at once that this creature was not small like I thought. It had been crouched down, and now it is standing. It was at least 7 feet tall, standing on its hind legs. It totally took me by surprise. I froze for a second when I realized it was something from a nightmare. It had the face of a dog with a snout, only it was like a man, a big man covered with fur. I could see dog ears on the top of its head. I screamed and stumbled. I almost fell down the hill. That's when it growled, just like a dog about to attack. I believed I was going to die. I'm getting goosebumps just remembering it. I took off running. I really, truly felt like my life was in danger. Thank God it did not follow me. Of course, no one believed me, but then I looked it up on the internet and saw people posting about this thing called the Dog Man. You're from the Cape? I love the Cape. Cape Cod is a truly beautiful place. All that matters is your dad. Yeah, he and I are close as real close now. Simon, I agree. I agree 100%. Wilburn, how are you? I got your email yesterday, buddy. I didn't read it yet, but I put it in my starred box. I have so many emails that I have to read. This week sucked. I really needed this. Any of you guys watch anything good this week? Yellowstone's a classic. Yellowstone is a classic. Christmas movies. Saturday night is the best nightmares. Thank you, VH. Wilburn, thank you. I appreciate that. Joe, porn. Jesus Christ. I watched my life unfold in front of me. Valhalla, I'm calling. Love that Zeppelin song. Oh, Immigrant Song is great. Janie, thank you so much. Justified. Justified 1 or Justified 2? Because there's 2. Both are great, but the first one is 10 times better, I think. The Cape is great. My wife is from Cape Elizabeth, Maine. I have family that lives, my aunt, my dad's sister lives in Bar Harbor, and she wants to come home and make sure my dad's okay. Part 1 of Rebel Moon. What's that? Deadwood? Deadwood. I watched a little bit of Deadwood, but not too much. Clone Wars. Die Hard. So I'm going to tell you straight up right now. There's a movie called Saltburn. Don't watch it. I thought it was actually pretty good until I got to the end. And I was like, fuck, why did I have to witness this? My eyes just like burned. It's a good movie until the end. Saltburn. It's they claim that it's going to be a movie masterpiece of 2023. It is new. My eyes melted. Like I was like, fuck me. What am I watching? Great movie, but the end was just not cool. Donna Harmon, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, so I'm not even going to tell you what it's about. It's actually a fucking great movie until the last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes scarred me. The movie is amazing because it's got like all these twists and turns in it. Like you think it's going one way, it goes that way, and then it goes that way, up, down, all around, back, forth, this way. And then at the end, the last 30 seconds, there's this guy running around this fucking mansion with his hog hanging out. And I was like, I didn't expect that. Great movie. Just didn't want to see the hog. Gran Turismo. I got to check that out. Officer Tankle. Fucking hog. If Joe Rogan can say a guy's got a hog on him, this kid had a hog on it. I was like, God damn. Come on, put the sleeping bag away. Who's that, Gravity Cheeseburger? If you don't mind me asking. What's a hog, Tracy? A hog. It's a guy's dink. The guy made Dirk Diggler look small. Speaking of Boogie Nights. I don't know who that is. What's he do, Gravity? $20 is $20. Just keep that hog away from me. Get the Krampus on him, the old Krampus. Dirk Diggler. I like the train to Busan or Busan. However, the Korean movies are badass, dude. Badass. Sleepaway Camp or what? It made the Sleepaway Camp guy look like a 4-year-old. This was a fucking swinging hog. And I didn't need to see it because then I felt inadequate. Japanese horror. Dude, Asian horror movies are fucking amazing. Killing Irishman. I got to check that movie out. I've heard nothing but good stuff about that. Boogie Nights soundtrack is amazing. Edge of Tomorrow. Got to check that out. Aramek, how are you? Merry Christmas to you. The way he deals with trolls. Never seen Cursed. Yeah, I know it is a true story. You're right, Wilburn. I just never seen it yet. I got to. Patty, Merry Christmas. Well, Gravity, I'm glad you fucking love it. And that effing was just for you, dearie. Red Cardinal, thank you. Thank you for giving me the heads up. Denise is going to bed? Or is Eunice going to bed? Which one of you? Love the love. This is we're not even getting started yet. Wait another 30 minutes. We get fucking ripping. Bigfoot will show him who daddy is. No, this kid's hog was bigger than Bigfoot's hog, I bet ya. I was pissed. I was like, that's not right. Ricardo, what's going on? How are you? Where's Tommy tonight? We're missing Tommy, Libra. Who else are we missing? You know who I miss is Thunderbolt, man. Thunderbolt is fucking awesome. Miss that guy. I wonder if Thunderbolt's still with us because I knew he was sick. Allison Dunn, yep. Denise, have a great Christmas. Thank you for sending me those phone numbers. I really appreciate that. I'm doing better now that it's Saturday night and I'm hanging out with you all. TW, what's up? We need some inner city urban stories. I got a couple. John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah, I haven't seen him on any other channels either, Jane. I've looked for him. Batman, what's up? Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us. The old gift and rock. I'm at the old Sharing Stone, guys. We're at the Sharing Stone. Bigfoot's right behind me. I better not pass out because he's going to give me the old hairy hog. Maybe he'll use spit this time. What is that on my roof? Is that a dead deer that I put up there and decided to video it? "30 Days a Night" is great night. Giant Slayer, yeah, Saltburn. Here we go. This is a good one. This will take us to good places. Is it time? Is it time? Yes, no, maybe. $20? Is it $20? Oh, Red Cardinal, 100%. 100%. That gift and rock. I'm at the Sharing Stone. $20 is $20. It's a lonely evening out there. No one's getting no $20. Aramic, you know that honestly, if you look into that, Aramic, the only staircases that are ever going to be found are old staircases from houses that have burnt down. Those stories, like the park ranger stories that Corp's husband had done, are all creepy pastas, and a lot of channels covered them. But there has been like stone staircases, but like random staircases that lead to nowhere that look brand new from a house is pretty much 100% fake. Yeah. Yeah, it's snowing in upstate. I'm glad that you're here too, Love the Love. Rockin' Seti, I swear to God, you got to stay away from the lot lizards. They cannot bite, but they do pack a punch. Alchemy of Souls. Is that about Aleister Crowley or something? Snowing in Colorado. All right, here we go. Whew. I don't think they were human. This was an experience that happened. Nightcat, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Mike Lyle. Appreciate that too. I hope you stay with us for a little bit, Mike. Jersey Nightcat, thank you. Thank you for everyone that's blessed me tonight, guys. You guys fucking rock. I appreciate it. All right, here we go. I don't think they were human. This was an experience that happened when I was a kid, probably 10 years ago in 2010. I'm 22 now. There used to be this park my dad would take me to in Maryland. He would play basketball in this section where the courts were, and I would play in the section where the park equipment was. One day I was on a swing set, and this couple came up and started talking to me. There's a man and a woman with a black stroller. I don't think I saw the baby in the stroller. I remember it always being faced away from me, the stroller. This may have been a normal interaction, but something felt very off or dreamlike about this encounter. I was even able to pick up on it at the age. The man in the couple was wearing blue jeans and a red and white plaid checkered shirt, but he looked odd, like kind of clammy, pale, jaundice maybe. I also remember his eyes being very, very penetrating. The woman had a dress and I think had medium length brown hair. I can't remember her face, no matter how hard I try. She looked more normal from what I remember. The best way to describe the man's hair would be kind of blonde, ashen, artificial looking, kind of like a bowl cut. I can't remember exactly what we talked about, but I think it revolved around God slash religion, and it was a fairly short interaction, maybe 10 minutes. The weirder part is that I saw them later at a completely different park on a different date, maybe weeks apart. And they were in the same exact outfits with the same exact stroller. It looked like only 5 minutes had passed, but it was a completely different location and, like I said, different time. I can remember feeling apprehensive and off when I saw them again, strangely. I can't remember if I talked to them or not the second time. The last key to the story is that when I told my dad about seeing the couple multiple times as a kid, he said that maybe they were angels. I remember that comment intensely freaking me out for some reason. Now, there could be a perfectly rational explanation for this, but more recently, I've been doing more spiritual work and growth, as well as scientific biology, quantum physics theory, etc. research. And this memory resurfacing prompted me to share. It's not the first time I recall this happening, but the first time I felt like I could maybe get an explanation. I'd be happy to provide any more context about my life if that's helpful, or encounters if I remember. It wasn't the sort of thing where they did anything really suspect I could tell my dad or the police about. The man just didn't look human. Like the only way to describe, he looked like a wilted flower, an uncanny, clammy, human wilted flower. That's the weirdest part. I do remember sort of shuffling off toward the courts after talking to them, but the second time I can't remember if I approached them or not, which is strange. It's fuzzy. It sort of blips in and out. Both encounters felt dreamlike. I also usually have a good brain for remembering faces, but I can't remember the lady's face. A good portion of the guys in detail could certainly be chalked up to the fact that it had been a while ago. But I still recognize people around my hometown from when I was that age, so I don't know. I just felt scared. It was off, like not quite right. Even now, it's the sort of thing where I hadn't externally told my dad. He didn't also physically notice them. I would doubt that it actually happened. I would doubt that it actually happened. I just remember feeling that it was weird. Gave me a weird feeling, especially the second time I saw them. Grace. Grace. Yeah, that's jaundice looking. Sandhoff, thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. Holy shit, Larry Lindman, did I miss you? Larry Lindman, Merry Christmas, brother. Holy shit. Thank you, man. I just opened the window, and what was I crying sour grapes? What does that statement mean, George? Larry renegotiated his contract. George, you want to see outside? I don't know if you can see it. Here, I'll turn the light off so you can see. I'll leave it open so you guys can check it out. All right. Little bit of park ranger experience. I've been working as a park ranger at Little. Joseph, how are you? Anyone's had multiple encounters with multiple different entities after divine intervention? No. But you have? Email me. I'd love to hear it. How do you define a creepypasta? Fiction. Usually on channels like Swamp Dweller, Unit 522, what's that other fucking husband and wife channel there? The Dreads, the Donovan Dreads, they're all creepypastas. That's creepypasta. Fake crap, not real. And creepypasta comes from creepy and pasta, like creepy paste. Slenderman is a creepypasta. The Staircases. What else would be? A lot of made up stuff. Smile Dog is a creepypasta. Right on, Puma. I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed that. Oh, just a car, Dean. Just a car. Back rooms. Yup. Creepypasta. Puma Pete, I am so glad that you said that. Because that MFer's got like 200,000 subs and I like 60. I'm like, what am I doing? Why? Not that I care, because I've got you guys. Larry Lemon, exactly. The creepypasta I hate the most. Smile Dog. I hate Smile Dog. The back rooms, any of the back rooms, like that was said. I just can't stand Smile Dog. Skinwalkers in the South, yeah. Yep. Or people saying the Wendigo has deer antlers. That's total creepypasta. Thanks, Red Cardinal. Appreciate that. Dogman, UK man, I appreciate you too. We got to get you on the show soon. I tell you what, the year of 2024, we're going to start out right. We're going to do an interview with Janie. We're going to have Jane. Yes, The Rake, 100% creepypasta. There are some cool creepypasta channels out there. There are some good ones out there. There are, like good storytellers. But, there's channels out there that I actually saw someone say this the other day. Like Dixie Cryptid, they share real experiences, right? But then when they share like a fictional story, they say, hey, this is a fictional story, but I thought it was cool and I'll share it with you. That's cool. I like that. When someone does that, it keeps it real, like here, I'm going to share a real experience, but then I'm going to share this fake experience. Charlie Knight, they've said they have, shared fictional stuff, but they share real stuff too. It's a good channel. And I think Yellow Rona is good. Yup. William Bishop said you got it right. Thank you, Linda. Sounds good, dog man. Yeah, at least they're being honest about it. That's the best part. You know, I appreciate that, Miss Firehorse. I appreciate Derek Crowley. Thank you. All right, let's start this off here. I don't know where they're from, honestly. I used to watch them a long time ago when I watched, other channels. Creepypastas do, yeah, it does. It hurts. That's a big thing. And I talked about it when I was up at the 411 where Tom Mezek disappeared. Is creepypastas and disinformation hurts our community a lot because, like there are people out there like myself, the guy from How to Hunt, that Dark Waters, other channels that want to share the truth, but then there's channels that just share BS and it's bad for business. It's like people then get confused because they're like, wait a second, I heard about this and I saw a skinwalker in Virginia. Well, you saw a shapeshifter, not a skinwalker. John Barfield, welcome to the channel, brother. How are you? And I'm not saying anything. Piss off, Rockin' Steady. You know I don't like that. Anybody who dresses in their fucking wife like a bar whore. Oh boy. Clint, he's not doing any better, but thank you for asking. It's a hard subject. I talked about it a little while ago. I don't want to get deep right now again. Thank you, Clint. Appreciate that. Just watched military YouTube on crawlers and they use footage. Yeah, dude, it's straight up fucking bullshit. I'm at the Sharing Rock, guys. I brought my son with me just in case Bigfoot's gonna plunk my bunkin'. Linda, yeah, I guess a lot of people have found me through Dark Waters. Adam White, best way to get in touch with me is my email. I do not use Facebook at all. I have a Facebook, but I don't use it. I have not used it in a long time. Even though the government patrols Google like an MFer and YouTube, Facebook is their like playground. Donna Harmon, thank you again. Wow, thank you. Subarctic Alaska Sasquatch is great. What's that? I don't know what that is. Just thoughts. Play with my hair. Caden, because you got good hair, brother. Because you got good hair. Never even had it. Call face punch. Never even had it. Call it face punch. Big up Jeff and Dog Man. Adam White, I'm going to put my email down here. Hang on one second. Hey, Jeff, do you think Scott Carpenter was taken out but not to lunch? I will talk about that in 1 second. Give me 1 second. Because I have a theory on that. And actually, hang on. DOLNY period M period Jeff. Hi, my name's Jeff. Cannot believe I just said that. What the fuck is wrong with me? Okay. So Adam White, my email is in between 59th Survivor and Caden Zero, the man, the myth, the guy on the watch list. If you need it, it's right there. John Holtz, how are you? All right, so do I think Scott Carpenter was taken out? All right, here's the deal. I think there's something really, really sinister going on with people that want to share the truth. I know that he died young. What was it? An aneurysm. Then we have so many other people, that Brenton Swanton guy or whatever his name was. Joe, thank you so much. My friend, there's been a lot of deaths in researchers lately. And I think that they are being silenced. And I think they are doing it in a way where they can say, randomly, this person just passed away. Randomly, this person just passed away. Brenton did have problems. He did. Kirk Stokes is sick. Kirk Stokes is an amazing researcher. But he was pushed out of the community because of who Charlie Knight just mentioned. Hi, Strangeness. He did and he didn't know a lot. That's the thing. That's something people don't know. And yeah, Scott Carpenter passed away. Kirk Stokes is an amazing researcher, and he has a lot of evidence, more than anyone I know of. And because of the evidence that he had, and because of jealousy, people pushed him out of the community, and it's just terrible. Claudia Ackley, another researcher, she was suing the state of California to prove that Bigfoot existed. She didn't want money. She just wanted, hey, admit they exist. And then she passes away. I talked to her a week before she passed away, and she was okay. She'd always had like a little bit of sickness, but she was okay. You know what I mean? I don't know why he wouldn't respond. I think he should have. I think that's cowardly not responding. Because you're not saying anything wrong. It's your opinion. Let's say he didn't die because of the government. It's just weird that he passed away like he did. Because I think he had done some exploration or some stuff prior to, like no issues. Andrew Dawson was killed not because he was a researcher, just because he aired the truth. Yeah. Purple Kush. Good call, my friend. Claudia died this year. Yeah, deemed suicide, or yes, often, yeah. But Rock and Steady, I don't think that one applies though. He had an addiction issue, And I think that, unfortunately, it happens when I do believe so, Candy Wolf. I do believe so. Do I like Cuban cigars, Joe? Oh, she's asking Joe. Or exactly, RH. Too much coincidence. Like I've talked about that, and I really think that there is something up. Just like I really think that people with addiction and mental health issues have a higher chance of seeing these creatures. And it's not because you're making it up. It's because you're seeing things. Or you're actually seeing these creatures. They're pulled to you. Oh, Jane, thank you. I'll leave $20 at the Sharing Stone. You know what I'm gonna do next time? I'm just gonna make a spoof. I'm gonna spoof it next time I go up to where Tom Mezek disappeared. I will find the random rock and I'll put $20 on it and I'll make a spoof. Who would win in a fight? Alpha Dogman, Alpha Sasquatch. More than likely the Sasquatch. What's up, Craig? How are you? All right. Encounter time. I've been working as a park ranger at Little Buffalo State Park in central PA for about 6 months when I had my encounter. It was August of 2006. My partner and I were driving around the park at night to do a final check of the area for the evening. We were about halfway through our section of the park when we had gotten a call from dispatch saying there was a camper who wanted us to come out and take a look at his RV because he thought it had been vandalized or broken into. I told dispatch that we'd be there shortly. We turned our vehicle around and arrived at his campsite within 5 minutes or so. We found a gentleman in his mid 60s standing outside of his RV looking very nervous. He walked up to our truck and I asked him if we could help him and look at his camper. His behavior was very unusual. He was very cautious, agreed, and walked over to his camper with us, following closely behind. He was very nervous and kept looking around the entire time, almost like he was expecting something or someone to jump out. We took a quick look inside the camper and found nothing that appeared out of place or missing. I asked him if anything had been taken from inside, and he said no, but there were some things that he thought were moved around during the short time he was gone. I looked around another minute or so before telling him we didn't see anything wrong. We thanked him for calling us, and then we started walking back to the truck. That's when my partner, who is an avid hunter, said to me, "Do you smell that?" I stopped walking for a second because I honestly did not notice any kind of odor other than the normal smell of state park campground, mildew, pine needles, fire, etc. My partner has spent many hours in the woods, so he knows his smells. He told me that it smelled like something was trying to cover up its own scent. And now that he said that, I noticed it as well. It was a very light odor, but definitely there. We looked around for another minute or so before my partner said, "I think we need to get out of here." We got into the truck and drove off toward the main area of the park, which is about a mile away from where the campsite is. We navigate our way up the path, and as soon as we got to the main road that travels through the park, we both saw it. It looked like 7 to 8 foot tall creature walking along the road. I was driving, so I didn't get to look at it great, but my partner saw it walk out onto the road in front of us. It then quickly crossed to the other side where there is more vegetation. He said that he could only see its backside as it walked across the road, but it had very wide shoulders, almost too wide for its body. He also said that he thought he could see its long hair covering its arms and shoulders, but wasn't sure because it was dark. We drove around looking for this thing for about an hour. We had no luck finding anything else unusual, so we eventually gave up and returned to the office. The next day, I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I went back to the site myself in hopes of finding any evidence of what we saw or smelled there. But I found nothing out of place or unusual. I decided just to move on and not focus on it since no concrete evidence could be found. I've heard of other encounters in this area as well, which makes me believe that there is something going on here for sure. Also, there have been sightings reported from this area, all the way up to Harrisburg. Anyway, that's my experience. I'm not here to convince anybody that what I saw was real, but I know that what I saw and smelled was real. Also, there have been several reports of dead deer in the area, deer that are torn apart but not eaten. That's very unusual to say the least. So I'm wondering if that's connected somehow. The most common theory among hunters around here is something is killing deer just for sport, then covering up its tracks or scent with another odor to mask it. I can't quite figure out how that would work, but that's what some people are saying. In the end, I'm not exactly sure what is going on. Wait, Sandhoff's birthday's today? Sandhoff, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sandhoff. Happy birthday to you. Right on, Tracy. Thank you. I agree. I agree. I've only had a couple weird things happen. Sandhoff, I just sang you a dang song, girl. Thank me. No, I'm just kidding. Here's your candle, Sandhoff. Blow out your candle. Yay! It was a beautiful song. Well done, Jeff. Well done. Oh, George, that's awesome. Sandhoff still has not thanked me. Sandhoff, this is your birthday encounter. This one's dedicated to Sandhoff and her birthday. I think she missed my song. Oh, shit. Gotta stretch my leg. Hang on. Oh, fuck. I'm Casey Kasem. Why aren't you thanking me, Sandhoff? I'm getting blown off. God damn. What'd I do to you? I sang you an entire song. Sandhoff, this experience is dedicated to you and to your birthday. Dogman, you came in. Have a good night, brother. I'm a widow with a teenage daughter in Casper, Wyoming, west of the city near the county airport. The property had been in my husband's family for years. I recently purchased an adjacent home and property after the owner passed away. This is where the experience actually began. I settled on the new property just after Thanksgiving. Since it was purchased as is, it was fairly inexpensive but required a lot of work. I hired an auction house to come in and remove the contents for future sale. The auction was scheduled for next week, but a few odd things happened when the items were first listed for sale. I received a phone call from the auctioneer a few weeks ago. He wanted to know if I had any knowledge concerning the contents of the house. I told him that I did not know the owner that well, but that I did know that he lived on the property since the 50s. The auctioneer said that a young woman came into the auction house and told him that the property and contents were stolen and that they belonged to her family in North Dakota. She didn't give her name, but assured him that she had documentation to prove her assertions, and that she planned to take legal action if the sale continued. I contacted my attorney and realtor, who verified the property sale was legal and that there were no prior claims to it. The young woman, who was described as very plain, thin, with long red hair, has not been heard since. It was decided that the auction would continue as scheduled. Then, this past Tuesday, New Year's Day, at around noon, someone rang the doorbell. I was in the kitchen and I knew my daughter would answer the door. I heard the door open and the voice of a young girl. My daughter soon yelled, "Mom, come here." As I walked down the hall toward the door, I noticed three girls standing on my porch. They stood without movement, staring directly at me. As I approached, I was shocked when I noticed that their eyes were completely black in color. I asked if I could help them. The tallest girl asked if they could come in and talk about the house and property that I had recently purchased. I immediately, I immediately replied that we were busy and that I would give them a phone number of my attorney if they had any inquiries. They just turned and walked away without saying anything else. Each of the girls had blonde hair and wore heavy winter clothes and boots. They seemed to be in their early teens. I watched as they walked toward the highway and eventually lost sight of them. Since then, we have not been contacted by anyone concerning the property. The auction has been postponed for other reasons and has not been rescheduled. My attorney continues to research the property records for any information. I suppose the most important question is, who are these children? Do I need to be concerned? Thank you, Sandhoff. I'm glad that today's your birthday, and I'm glad that you're celebrating your birthday with all of us. Spaceballs. Simon, I hope you have a great Christmas as well. Big chat. Kodiak gorilla versus silverback gorilla. Both alpha males in the prime. Which would you put $20 on? Kodiak versus silverback. Fuck. Maybe the Kodiak. I'd put my money on the Kodiak. Grizzly bear all day. Yeah, I agree with Larry. Claws in the reach. Yeah, they're about the same weight. with about the same strength, too. You know what we can do? We can ask Google. Let's ask Google. Who would win in a fight? A Kodiak bear or grizzly? Fuck. Who would win in a fight? A Kodiak bear or silverback gorilla? In conclusion, Kodiak bear has the size and weight over the silverback gorilla, but the silverback gorilla has a greater jaw strength. Kodiak is an omnivore, meaning they are more prepared for the fight because the gorilla only eats berries. I thought they ate more than berries. They ate like other monkeys, don't they? It is unlikely that the silverback could defeat the much larger and faster grizzly bear in a fair fight. But, here's the thing. Primates are now using tools. So if they're using tools, a primate might be able to fuck a grizzly up. That's what I thought too, big chap. Do silverback gorillas eat monkeys? Gorillas are herbivores. They eat mostly plants, including leaves, roots. Chimpanzees eat monkeys. Yes. Chimpanzees are the ones that eat monkeys. What eats other monkeys, chimpanzees or gorillas? Chimpanzees and their bondo cousins are known to hunt and eat other mammals. Gorillas are herbivores and only eat. Oh, thank you, Sandhoff. Grizzly would smash the shit out of a freaking silverback. Ask if deer eat rabbit. Some herbivores will switch. Do deer eat rabbit? Will a deer likely feed on rabbits? Aside from scavenging habits, deers do not eat rabbit. They don't have the structures for tearing into flesh. Sure, they can occasionally eat meat from dead animal, but hunting, killing, and finally eating a rabbit is impossible. Remember on Faces of Death when they ate the little monkey's brain? You're drunk aunt. Merry Christmas. I've had rabbit. Rabbit's not too bad. Jacob, unless they're black-eyed rabbit or black-eyed deer. Right on. Sully, what's up? Merry Christmas, brother. Ew, that's gross, Tracy. I'm not ready for Christmas. I've got to wrap presents still. You like Crosses, Jacob? Crosses is a badass band, right? You know what's cool with Crosses, Jacob? Every January 1st, they have put out a random 1980s remake song, like they did George Michael's Teacher last year. Craig, yeah, I've gone shopping. I did my shopping, but I don't like Christmas. Everything with my dad now has kind of just went out the window. I don't even care about Christmas. I do care. I mean, I've got my village set up. Me and Isabel have our village, and I got the Christmas tree up, but I got to sit down tomorrow and wrap presents all day. Yeah, I'm not cooking a Christmas dinner. Nope. It's going to be ramen fucking noodles on Christmas. Haha, ramen. What are we having for dinner, Daddy? Eat some ramen, bitches. Big chap, no, my dad's not doing any better. He's readmitted to a hospital today or yesterday. But thank you for asking. Donna Royale, Merry Christmas to you. All right, so I'm going to give you guys the choice. A encounter out of my hometown. Before you answer, hang on, wait till you get the choices. Langs, welcome to the channel. I'm glad that you're here with us. Merry Christmas. All right, so an encounter out of my hometown, a strange Bigfoot encounter, or black-eyed kids encounter. Hometown, Bigfoot, or black-eyed kids? Hometown. Hometown. Hometown, hometown. Hometown. Hometown wins it because I was going hometown anyway. I just said, it's no democracy here. We'll do Black Eyed Kids right after the hometown, okay? All right, here we go. It was the summer of 2009. It was the summer of 2009. My girlfriend and I were on our yearly camping trip with her mom, dad, and her brother and his wife. The year, the six of us had traveled north from where we lived near Albany, New York, to a campground in the Adirondacks. It was a small campground, but they did have full cabins, and there were sites for both RV and tent. My girlfriend's parents rented one of the cabins for the week, and we planned to set up a tent for ourselves just outside of the cabin. We had left after work on Friday. We ate dinner when we got there and hung out by the fire pit. The six of us all talked about all sorts of things. It was a great first night. We were all tired, though, so we headed off to bed at around 9:30. We had been up since 5 a.m. that morning, having worked a full day, so we were pretty tired. The moon was full, so there was plenty of light around, but not enough to see details beyond 20 feet or so. I pitched our tent relatively close to the cabin. My girlfriend's brother and his wife pitched their tent on the far side of the cabin about 50 feet away. About an hour later, after falling asleep, I was awoken by my girlfriend, who said she heard something outside of our tent, but I couldn't see anything out the mesh window. She thought it sounded like heavy footsteps walking through the leaves and twigs as it moved around our site. We were near the center of the campground, where there were not too many trees. I listened a bit, but could barely lift my head since I was so tired. I didn't hear a thing, so I told her not to worry, and whatever it was would probably move on. It was probably just some forest animal checking out our scent. I instantly fell back to sleep, but woke up again when she nudged me awake a few minutes later, saying that whatever it was had moved closer. She said that she could hear it breathing outside of our tent and felt like something was looking at her through the mesh window. I reluctantly gave in, woke myself up to check it out. As I slowly unzipped the flap of the tent, as soon as I did that, my girlfriend let out a scream because something jumped from the area right outside of our tent and jumped into the trees across from us. We both saw it at the same time before it darted off into the trees. It then stopped and looked back at us. It was about 7 feet tall, muscular, with a huge head. The creature didn't seem aggressive, but instead seemed curious as it stood there staring at us for quite some time. After standing there for a few seconds, it turned and slowly walked away in the woods on the other side of the campground. I unzipped the tent flap all the way and stepped outside very cautiously. I looked in the direction that it had gone, but couldn't see a thing in the dark. I stood there for a bit listening before I went back inside the tent and zipped it up. I was now doubting if we had really seen a thing at all, but at the same time, we both just lie there in our sleeping bags for several minutes, not saying anything. We were both kind of in shock at what just had happened. We stayed awake for probably the next 2 hours, and we stayed awake for the next 2 hours, and we did both hear distant screaming noises a few times that night. But somehow we both fell asleep, although I have to admit I had dreams of being chased and running for my life through the forest. The next day, we all got up and were making breakfast. I told my girlfriend's brother about what happened and asked him if he had heard or seen anything at all. But he said he hadn't, so it was looking as if only my girlfriend and I had experienced it. But later in the day, after the morning hike, we were sitting in the cabin with her mom and dad when one of the campground managers came by with his dog. The dog looked like a German Shepherd mix. It was acting very strangely as if he had spotted or smelled something unusual in the area and was trying to pull the owner towards it. The manager passed the time a bit by talking to us, checking in on us before finally asking if we had seen anything like a bear around recently, saying that his dog seemed to be very interested in our area. He was wondering what could possibly be up when we told him no. He seemed relieved, but said that he had received a report from other campers that they had seen a large black bear in the area, and that it was smart enough to have learned how to open up their locked food storage compartments. I don't know if what we saw was a bear or not, but I do know that bears do not usually stand 7 feet tall or walk on their hind legs. I'm pretty sure bears are nocturnal, so there's that. What exactly did we see that night? I'm not sure, but it was definitely something very strange and out of the ordinary. My girlfriend and I are confident that it was not a bear, but something much more. And in fact, the other campers had reported seeing something similar in their area, lends credibility to our experience. I collect silver, Steve. I got a couple little pieces of gold, but yeah, silver and gold are the best thing to collect. That was a good one. Lunatic Savage, how are you? Stacks of video. Amy Light, how are you? Spirit level, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Merry Christmas to you. I'm glad that you're here too, Amy. Make rook pie. You. BJ, Merry Christmas to you as well. And thank you for joining our live tonight. I hope that you're having fun. I try to make it different than other places, you know. I've been in a few different lives, and this one is the most welcoming. Thank you, Amy. I try to have it be different, you know what I mean? Like, so everyone is having fun. Brett, you didn't miss much, brother. I'm glad that you're here with us still. Off the cuff, Jeff. Just pull one. What do you mean, Miss Firehorse? Charlie. Yeah, they're good. It's a good. Plus, you don't smell like ciggies. You're drunk, Aunt? Yeah. I'd have to do it from my phone though, or maybe my laptop. I'd probably have to like camp out in the car. Haha, Sandhoff. Oh, Craig, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Simone, have a good night. Merry Christmas, dear. The Dewey Lake Monster. No, I've never heard of that. I'll have to look into it. Dewey Lake Monster in Dewey Lake, Kentucky. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Dewey Lake. Live, not love. Haha. Let's check this Dewey Lake Monster out. Check this out, guys. The Dewey Lake Monster, also known as this. Jacob, thank you, brother. The Dewey Lake Monster, also known as the Sister Lake Sasquatch in Michigan folklore, is purported to be ape-like creature similar to the description of Bigfoot that was allegedly sighted in the summer of '64 near Dewey Lake and Sister Lakes. Description: the creature was described as covered in hair, approximately 10 feet tall, 500 pounds, and had glowing eyes. In '64, the story gained national attention after local residents reported seeing a large, hairy creature with glowing eyes. Police searched the area of the alleged sightings and found nothing. Nonetheless, the reports caused curious thrill seekers and monster hunters to besiege the community that summer. Local entrepreneurs capitalized on the event by selling monster getaway gas, monster burgers, monster hunting kits, with a net, flashlight, squirt gun, a mallet, and a stake. Newspapers in Chicago dubbed Sister Lake Monster Hometown USA and played up the back weirdness of the small town's residents. Several zoologists suggested that people may have misidentified a bear or a gorilla. Cass County Sheriff Robert Duell and Conservation Officer William Rowe dismissed speculation of the monsters. Within a week, the hysteria diminished, and the South Bend Tribune reported that nobody seems frightened anymore. In 1983 retrospective, the South Bend Tribune suggested that the monster was imagined by intoxicating strawberry pickers. Steve Arasu states, I view it more as a rural legend, perhaps. Some people saw something and their imaginations got the better of them. Yeah, I doubt that people imagined it. that many people don't imagine something. You know what I mean, guys? What I saw had glowing eyes. What did you see, my friend? Krypton. Right on, Dean. I'm in Tennessee tonight. Where is the homeless camp that gets invaded by Dogman? Cott County, Tennessee, Jimtown Road, or Carnation Lane. I saw 3 something in New Jersey. Krypton, I'd love to hear your experience. Send me that experience, or if you want to come on the show, let me know, please. Damn, a crawler? Dude, you got to get a hold of me, my friend. You got to get a hold of me. TW, have a good night. You know who we're missing is Cowboy 5 Rings tonight. Do you need my email, Krypton? Rochelle, thank you so much. Thank you. Merry Christmas. You guys are fucking awesome tonight. All right, Krypton, I'm going to put my email in for you. I'd love to hear what, if you could type it out a little bit so I can narrate it and then have you on if you don't mind, or if you do, just come on. Let me know. But I'm going to put my email in for you right now. It's right under Caden and right above Sandhoff. Sounds good. Sounds good. Merry Christmas to you, brother. Is there any buffalo creatures? I've heard something strange, but not. I don't know. I got the little Cokes. I'm getting too fat to drink big Cokes from now on. I drink too many of them. Jeff, that indica, sativa, or hybrid? It's tobacco. I don't smoke weed. I'm sober. Thank you, Tracy. Goatman scares the shit out of me too. There are times that I would smoke, but I know that smoking would probably eventually bring me back to opiates. So I can never. I know in my head that I'll never be able to smoke anything or drink or do anything. My encounter was in '89. You got to share it, Rhonda. And then water the rest of the day. Well, here, since we're talking about water, I guess it's time to do a promo. This channel is sponsored by Just Water and Just Bubbles. It's proudly made in Glens Falls, New York, and it's wonderful, refreshing drinking water. Sponsored by this. What a shameless freaking haha. Right on, 59th. Right on. And the gifting rock. Pterodactyl sightings, very similar to what would that be? Thunderbird. That's what I believe. That if they still exist, and why not? Why? I mean, there's plenty of fucking caves to hide in. Bubbles, yeah. Joe, do you remember when you were kids and we used to blow bubbles? Well, Bubbles says hi. What's the bear wolf? Bear wolf would probably be, if I was going to guess, bear wolf would be like the dog man or Ojibwe bear walker. I've seen a pterodactyl. You're in Australia, so I honestly would believe, spirit level, that there would be pterodactyl in Australia, in the Midwest. Yeah, I don't like water though. I mean, I like water. Sully, thank you, man. Wow, thank you so much. I'll drink some shamelessly plugged water. Probably one of the best things I've ever read were the thesis on the bear walker by the Ojibwe. Cryptids are in Hawaii. Well, there are legends. See, no one's ever talked about Dogman in Hawaii. But about a month and a half ago, I looked into it, and there are legends of the dog people in Hawaii. So there is Dogman sightings that have been in Hawaii. There are other like small like mini people and shit. I forget. Excuse me. Skipping ads, bam. I've been on top of the skip and ad business all night for you people. There are where people everywhere. They'd be shapeshifters. Stacy Brooks, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know what's weird? Here. Oh, shit. Okay. I am an ad assassin. Done, son. So, have you ever heard of people say, like, okay, I don't believe that shapeshifters exist because if somebody was able to shapeshift, then their bones would be broke and their muscles would tear and this and that, right? For a long time I had a hard time with that because I was like, you're right. If they shapeshifted into something, then their bones would break and their muscles would tear. But if they're able to shapeshift, they'd be able to regenerate too, correct? So that's something I never really thought about unless it's spiritual. Yeah. So if you are capable of shape-shifting via black magic, then your muscles that are torn and your bones that are broke could reheal. I'm guessing. Yeah. But we don't. So here's the thing that I thought about, because I've had discussions with people about that, and we don't know shit about shit if you think about it. Like, we really don't even, we've barely scratched the surface of anything. Yes, Ricardo, absolutely. Stacy Brooks, 100%. Absolutely, 100% Krypton. Bro, after what happened to me, you told me you saw where I wouldn't doubt it much. Shape shifting happens. Yeah, I really think it does. But well, the sacrifice of that would that usually that premise of sacrificing a loved one is First Nation lore, like Algonquin, Mohawk, Iroquois, Ojibwe. You're welcome, Sanhoff. You're welcome, Sanhoff. Happy birthday. I'm glad I could do one thing for your birthday. Skip the ads. Jeff, what are your thoughts as to why we are seeing so many of these cryptids now? Terry, I don't think. Here's the thing. Why are we seeing so many cryptids now? Well, I think that we are seeing the same amount of cryptids that we've always seen, just now we have the internet. You know, we we tend to forget that what we're doing right now is very new. You know, this 20, 30 years ago, 20 years ago wasn't even thought of, So now we have this tool, the internet, that we can share information with, and people are now sharing their information. UAPs. Yeah, Rochelle, 100%. Well, the reason why they came out so much during COVID was because people were inside their house, you know, and like I said, we got so many sightings in 2021. In 2022, there were so many attacks those 2 years, 3 years, 2020 to 2022. There were so many attacks because they were coming out, right? If you think about, you can see it in regular animals because they were spotting dolphins like in areas that they had never swam before for hundreds of years. So it was like once humanity steps back for a half a month, animals start to come out again. Yeah, I definitely don't want to have a alien contact. Merry Christmas, Johnson. Sabrina. I'm not a fan of Alien Contact because they like to go butt boogieing. They're always going up your ass for some reason, and that's not cool. They're not even buying you dinner. Those big fingers. All right. Last encounter of the evening. I had a weird incident in 2009 after we moved into our house in Fairfax, Virginia. The morning after we moved in, our doorbell rang at around 7 in the morning. I answered the door, and there were 3 young men, probably in their 20s, dressed in black suits and ties. All 3 were very pale, which concerned me initially. But I then noticed that all 3 had small black eyes. It was so weird that I just shuddered in fear. I didn't even wait to see why they knocked at my door. I immediately closed the door and yelled, "Go away!" I peeked out the side window of the door and they were gone. In 5 seconds, they simply vanished. I checked to see who our neighbors were by going door to door and introducing myself, and none of my neighbors resembled the 3 black-eyed men that I had seen. We have lived here for over 13 years and I've never seen them again. I have talked to my neighbors, great neighborhood, and no one else has an idea of who I encountered or who they even were. What or who were they? Black-eyed kids? Colin asks, why do you think so much is hidden from the public? To be honest, for the same reason why they have hid UFOs and UAPs from us, because they don't want mass panic. Merry Christmas, Liz. Real men drink flat soda. I do all the time. I love flat soda. Does anyone think Jackie Gleason looks like Jabba the Hutt? No. Jackie Gleason's the fucking man. He built a house like a UFO. If you build a house that's a UFO, like that looks like a UFO, you are definitely good in my eyes. Oh, Jesus. Hang on, I got to stand up. My legs hurt. Ow. You know what? In a week, my freaking hot pink tank top will be here. My wife beater that says $20 is $20, baby. Can't wait to wear it. It's going to be my live stream shirt. Whitey Ray, Merry Christmas, brother. And Andy Davis, you are a real man. Andy Davis was about to say real men drink Uncle Jeffy's root juice. Do you think you'll ever visit the LBL? Maybe. I can't do it now because my daughter is too young to leave for that long. Is it on my bucket list? No. But will I go there eventually? Yeah, there are places I want to see first. Taylor, Mississippi. The Headless Canyon in Canada. But yeah. I'll probably go, if I go to the LBL, I'll probably, do it when I go to Merle Plantation. I'd much rather go to Antarctica. Yes, RH. But I will go when I go to the LBL. I will be going big pimping. I will wear my hot pink $20 is $20 tank top. Gregory, you been to Taylor? Craig, that sounds. Idaho's got a lot of deep woods. You think werewolf could howl for a full minute? I bet they've howled that. Yeah, definitely, Daniel. John, I still have that brochure you sent me, brother. No, I've never seen that Family Guy episode. Did you go in the woods, Greg? Absolutely right, Larry. I'd like to go to South Texas myself because there's a lot. There's Goatman. There's feline fuckers. Well, feline creatures. I bet you there's feline fuckers there, though. There's feline creatures. Eunice, have a good night. Merry Christmas, dear. Daniel Brad, how are you? RH got that one. RH got it. I'm glad someone got it. I'd like to go to Appalachia. I'd go to like the Appalachia area before LBL. Is it wrong that I want to hunt a feral person? Does that make me a bad person? Nick Palm Beach, Merry Christmas, and thank you very much. Thank you. $20 is $20, baby. Thank you, Nick. Does that make me a bad person for wanting to hunt a feral person? It's like hunting mermaids. No one's looking. Craig, now that you mention it, I'm down to back. Now that you mention it, I had an encounter out of the Frank Church area. I have a theory about the big three. It may. What's your theory, Bobby? And how are you? I didn't see you there. Did you sneak in? Bobby Schultz snuck right in on us. What's up, Nino, you sexy MFer? Where is he? Where is Nino? There he is. Fucking Nino sneaks in too. Hey, buddy. Snuck right in the back door, Nino did. With that sexy MFer face of his. That's what she said, Caden. Yeah, Nicola. Absolutely. Love you, buddy. I'll see you in a little bit, baby girl. You're probably hungry, aren't you? Oh, we got 2 hours and 40 minutes in. So I'll share one last experience, and then I got to go take care of my big girl. What's up, Luxury? Surviving the game. Yeah. Ooh, the Irish seaside. I'd love that. That'd be sick. I'd love to go to the UK. I've been doing good, Slim. How about you? Merry Christmas. He's not doing well, but thank you for asking. It's a rough one to talk about. I talked about it a little earlier. You can rewatch the live. He's not doing well, but thank you. Rosie, have a good night. And thank you so much. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, I don't want to catch one by his toe, Sandhoff. I want to shoot one in the ass. Watch him go. Rah! Bring Caden with me. All right, so there is an experience that happened in Idaho, and I was trying to put it together and how it went down. So, Liz, holy cow, thank you so much. Do you think some feral may be half Sasquatch, half human, considering they kidnap women? Considering Americans share how they kidnap women? Good idea. Good. Arabic, who's ignoring you? Could be, Liz. Well, I didn't see what you said. What did you say that was? Plead number 6. What did you plead, Arabic? Mr. Jeff, would it be too much to consider for a moment Victor case and maybe a moment of grace, the best hero we know? I did before you came in, actually. I did consider and prayed that Victor is still with us at the very beginning of the live stream. Probably, what, about 30 minutes into it, guys? Yeah, I always think about him. So if feral, how Victor explained the feral humans, he explained them more like not Neanderthal, but more like a Denisovian. I don't think, in my own opinion, I don't think just how Victor explained the feral that were hunted down, I don't think they're part Sasquatch. I think they're more closely related to humans than us, or than Sasquatch, excuse me. Andy Davis, you can be Frank Davis if you want. Andy is changing his name. Andy has changed his name. His now name is Frank Davis. No, not so much RH, not since. Eremic, we've all lent Victor respect. I mean, he was my greatest friend. So I'm finishing his book. Of course, I respect him. I respect him more than you do. So, I mean, you're going crazy on this. Why do you think I post his reposts all the time? Bob Willie, what's up? Or Wiley, how are you? Coffee time. The foreword to Victor's book is quite amazing. Victor is the modern day Dutch from Predator. 59th, holy shit. Victor, I do too. That's why, when I post his reposts, I honestly sometimes I'm like, are people going to get mad because I'm replaying this or what? And it's, I'll always do it. Dude, Eremic, what is your problem? Are you just like, are you having a Sally moment tonight or what? Did you forget to change your fucking pad? Calm down. Jesus Christ. I don't know what that means, Puma Pete. I just want a moment to see excellence. Ethan, yeah, hang on. Eremic, I show Victor respect by replaying his old uploads. That's what I do. He's was my best friend for the longest time. I talked to him on a daily basis for 3 years. All right, Ethan, I'm putting my email right in right now, brother. Sometimes that happens. And I don't know why. I would just keep trying to send it. It's going to be under RH. Thank you, Charlie Knight. I know. Thanks. It's under RH and or above R under RH and above Frank Davis. Just Ethan, just keep trying. I've had literally people are like, "Did you block me?" And I'm like, "I didn't block you. I didn't block you. I swear to God." Greg, thank you. All right, so the story I was gonna tell you guys before, Eremic got upset because I didn't acknowledge Victor. So a couple, they were kayaking one evening, and a couple were kayaking, And they had been kayaking for a couple of hours. Hang on a second. Bobby, what is your theory? I'd like to hear it. I did glitch right there, Larry. I stopped because Aramik just keeps talking about Victor and how much, like, dude, stop. He's already gotten the respect. He knows if he's looking down from us from heaven or if he's watching us from his hospital room. He knows that I have more respect for him than anybody else. Like, I love Victor. I'm rewriting his book for him. He knows the respect. He knows that I post uploads for him. Jesus Christ, please. So, Bobby, please share. And then I'm going to share my last experience, and then I'm going to go take care of my daughter, if that's okay, Aramik. Mine too, Alan Howell. Janie, are you still with us? All right. What's up, Bulbasaur? How are you? Yeah, I remember you. Okay. I'm going to keep an eye out for Bobby, but I'm going to share the last experience. So this couple, they were kayaking, and they were in Idaho, and it was getting really, really bad. The weather was getting shitty. It was getting dark. So what they did was they put their kayak up on this very small shelf. There was like rock overhang. There was no kind of like beach or whatever. There's just like rock overhang and very shitty kind of land. So they pull up their kayak and they go into this little kind of cave area. And they have their dog with them. And their dog's maybe like a 60-pound dog, not a very big dog. And all right, Janie, thank you. And so not a very big dog. They eat their lunch, they hang out, eat dinner, excuse me. They hang out, and Bobby, you're not going to share? So they eat their lunch, and or dinner. They eat their dinner, and they start a little fire. Now, where they're camping is not very big. It's a very small cave, like probably like 6 feet deep, maybe 4 foot high, so they can't stand up completely. They got their campfire kind of set right here, and they're just relaxing for the night. Nothing weird happens at all for the first, their whole kayaking trip. They get set. Their dog is doing good. Thank you, Sandhoff. Thank you, Janie. Their dog is doing good. Everything's good. The weather's getting worse, and they end up going to bed. Now, throughout the night, they can hear the dog kind of getting a little freaked out, and the wife feels the dog kind of lie next to them. And at one point, she has the dog kind of lay in between her and her husband. Bobby, I want to hear your theory. Email me it, please. So they have the dog lay between them, and then they go to bed. The next morning, they wake up and they realize that something really bad happened through the night with their dog. Their dog had been torn apart, and they freak out. They're like, "Oh my God, what happened to our dog?" There's blood everywhere, and they see these huge kind of three-toed paw prints going down the rock in blood. And they leave. They put the dog, the body of their dog in their kayak and leave. And as they're kayaking down this river, they look up where they had been camping, and above the cave that they were just in is a dog man standing down looking at them. She now wonders if at one point, because there was blood in between their sleeping bag, so she wondered if the dog man had been messing with them and pulling it off them and stuff. It was pretty disgusting. I think that there are different breeds of dogmen. That's definitely a theory out there. I don't think they're breeds. I think they're like people. Like there's different people, Like, there's big people, weird looking people, but yeah. Variation in population. Yeah, exactly. 59th. Yes. $20 is $20. Derek Crowley. All right, guys. 3 hours live stream, Christmas Eve. I had a blast with you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Crystal, thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Janie. Big Chat. Merry Christmas. MJ Bates. Merry Christmas. Kakalina. Merry Christmas. Puma Pete. Ethan R. It says it sent. I had to email it to myself, then forward it to you. Hang on, Ethan. Before I let you go, I'll check real quick and make sure it's here. John, thank you. No, Ethan, I didn't get it yet. Bulbasaur, have a great night. Merry Christmas. Douglas Dickinson, Merry Christmas. Wish I could listen some more, but yes, Merry Christmas. It's been 3 hours, Bulbasaur. You can actually listen to the beginning of the live stream if you go to the live part and rewatch it. But I'm done. I'm beat. It's 3 a.m. Terry, Andy, Frank Davis. Ethan, please keep trying, okay? I really want to read what you got to say to me. All right, guys. Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you for spending 3 hours with me. I really, really had a blast. These live streams really help me out. Like with this, I've been looking forward to this all week, and I really needed it. So thank you, Aramic. Merry Christmas. I love you, Aramic. You're one heck of a fella. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much. Stay well. And maybe I'll do maybe a live stream on Christmas Day sometime. Maybe Christmas night I'll pop in and say Merry Christmas to everybody. I don't know. I'm not going to make any promises, but maybe look for in the community section, maybe somewhere around 6:00. Hopefully you get do you guys get notification when I go live? Krypton, please send me that email. I'd like to hear that, what you want to say. Do you guys get notification when I go live or no? Yes. Okay, so maybe Christmas. I'm not going to make promises, but maybe. All right. All right, guys. I love you all. Stay well. And thank you. And Merry Christmas.